Aloha everyone, Ikaika here, and today I will be showing you how to put together KIALOA's newest paddle, the Leahi. The Leahi is a reimagined take on hybrid paddle construction, and because of which we offer it both fully assembled or into pieces for self-assembly. All right, so I'm sure you're thinking, why would I buy a paddle in pieces? And the answer is shipping. Instead of having to use our standard 5-foot boxes, because we can break this down a lot farther, we can put them in smaller boxes like this. And this cuts the shipping rate dramatically. And so that's good news if you live in the continental US. That's great news if you live out here in Hawaii or if you live overseas or internationally. And it's fantastic news if you're a dealer where we'd be sending a lot of these to you at one time. And the KIALOA Hana has made it super easy and simple to put this together on your own. All right, so when you receive the box in the mail, you will find 5 things in the box. You will find the Leahi blade itself. You will find a round shaft with our round shaft technology. You will find the wooden upper shaft with the T-top already assembled. You're also gonna have a heat gasket, and then you're gonna have a set of instructions in the box. In addition to all of those things, you're going to need a couple other things as well. You're going to want some glue. Obviously, I like a 2-part epoxy, some kind of 2-part solution. You could also use a marine grade glue or something else, but it just definitely needs to be sturdy. You're going to want something to mix and apply that glue. Today, we are using chopsticks. You're going to want a rag or a paper towel to clean up the excess glue. Optional, some electric tape. I'll explain that later. And then you're going to want a heat source to shrink down the heat gasket, whether that's a hairdryer, or something else. And my tape, all I have is a lighter. So we'll see how that goes. So step 1, we are going to take the top of the shaft and we are going to adhesive it to the middle shaft. Basically how we're doing this is we're going to have the word KIALOA read down. So we're going to have this on top like that. And so K is on top and outwards. So we're going to start by mixing some glue. Again, I'm using a 2-part epoxy, but feel free to use marine grade or something else if you wish. We're going to mix it up with one of our chopsticks. And so the idea when we put this together is we are going to have put more glue on the wood on the male end, and we are going to put less glue on the epoxy, or sorry, the carbon female end. All right, so that should be enough. So again, we're going to lather this up. Again, we're going to try and put a bunch on this side of it. So really get a lot of it on there. We are going to put some more on just a little bit on the carbon side. We're just going to wrap it around like that. And if you're watching this, you can see that I made this hard on myself and I did the wood first. Now that I did this, I'm going to say I would recommend doing the carbon first so you can put it down so you don't have to kind of awkwardly hold it like how I am. All good. So now that that's together, we're going to slide it in. Nice and easy. The angle of this should just be close. You can kind of eyeball it. It's not a big deal. Because it is circular, it kind of has a little bit of give. So I'm going to move all this stuff. I'm going to take a rag and I'm just going to clean up all the excess right here. So I'm just going to wipe off all the excess glue. There we go, looking nice and clean. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this upside down to let the glue settle back on the wood. I'm going to let it settle for as long as the glue says. So on here it says 5 to 8 minutes. So we're going to put this on the wall right here for 5 to 8 minutes, and then we will come back to do the rest. And we're back. So this is set for about 10 minutes now. It's nice and strong. So now we're going to go into the second part, which is connecting the shaft to the blade. So in order to do this, the first thing you got to do is super important, because if you forget this, there's no going back. You have to put the heat gasket on now. So I'm just going to slide that up here so it's kind of out of the way. And then I'm going to get my glue. I'm going to mix a whole bunch more. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a ton. That's enough. I'm going to put this down real quick. Now I'm going to take the shaft, or sorry, the blade. I'm gonna really lather it up. I'm gonna put a lot on this time. Okay, now I'm gonna put these together. So logo is out, right? I'm gonna push it together like that. It's okay to let that glue go out. I'm gonna take a rag, use a new one, and just clean up the seam. And then what you're gonna wanna do is you wanna either have, like if you are doing this in a place with like a staircase or something, or you can just use a book or a yoga block. What you do is you put the T-top down and then you press the blade down into the flat surface. And that'll show you whether or not you got this angle right. And so you can see here it's off, right? There's a lot of wiggle. So I'm gonna adjust it to where it's nice and flat. Put a lot of pressure on it, make sure it's sitting correctly. So now we're gonna let this sit for another 10 minutes. So this time I'm gonna have it sit this way, right? So that any excess glue will be coming down on it and it'll settle correctly. And then we will get to step 3. Okay, so we are back. I let this set. It's looking good, looking nice and straight. So now we're gonna do the final little touch. So I'm gonna take that electric tape I was talking about. And again, this is optional. You don't have to do it, but it definitely kind of makes it feel a little bit more polished at the end. You take the electric tape and you're basically just wrapping this seam a couple times, just to further smooth it out. So you're trying to wrap it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be like perfect, doesn't have to be like a ton. Just kind of want to mitigate that seam. Okay, great. So now that that's done, we're gonna bring this down and we're gonna cover the tape with this heat gasket. And so the idea is we're gonna expose this to heat and we're gonna slowly rotate it. And in doing so, it will shrink onto the blade. So coming back with one of my old rags, just cleaning off the excess. And that is it. Yeah, I would just let this dry out for a little bit and let it cool down because it is still kind of hot from the heat. But besides that, I mean, you could put this paddle in the water in an hour or so. I would be comfortable with it. Yeah, so I hope this video helped you guys understand how to put this blade together. It is really simple. You just need, yeah, some glue and a little bit of heat, some rags, and it's kind of it. So like I said, I think it's a great solution for people. I know it is already an investment to buy a paddle, but so to cut down shipping significantly, I think it's going to make this a lot more accessible to a lot more people. So I'm super excited about this paddle. I hope you guys are too. I can't wait for you guys to get this paddle on the water and let us know your thoughts. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact customer service. And yeah, if not, I will see you guys on the water.